Here I am, 26, and in true BuzzFeed fashion, I'm doing 26 things I learned at 26. It's my birthday!
Happy birthday to you.
It was actually my birthday like more than a week ago. I wanted to record this a while back, but the fears of not wanting to be heard talking to yourself by your roommate.
"75 years later."
I think I'm home alone now. I think. You can tell we're not friends. I just have to bite the bullet and go ahead. Here I am, 26, and in true BuzzFeed fashion, I'm doing 26 things I learned at 26. So here I am going on pretending like I remember anything. So the least I could do is impart my wisdom, my worldly, learned wisdom onto the masses. So the first thing I think is an ancient, or I don't know how ancient, but it's an old Arabic. It goes me against my brother, and then me and my brother against my cousin, and then me, my brother, and my cousin against the world. It's essentially being like you can claw and you can fight and you can tear the head off of your family and your bros in private when you're together, but never forget who the real enemy or the real threat is. And that's a very, very important lesson. It doesn't just apply to family or friends, but in general in life, in work, when there's someone who's clearly more allied to you. There's something called the bigotry of small differences, where once you become kind of isolated, or once you become in a group with other people who are largely similar to you, largely have similar beliefs to you, largely similar values to you, the smallest kind of differences become a big deal, and you can kind of lose sight of the fact that you guys are like similar in like 99% of things, but the smallest like 1% feels like the biggest thing, and it throws you off, and you feel like, oh my god, I can't be with this person is like whatever. And then it can be so attractive to then, because of that small difference and that big blow up from a small difference, it can be attractive to go and find the enemy or someone who's completely the opposite and ally with them to get back at your original crew. But you don't realize that you've nothing in common with the enemy. They don't have your best interests. You don't have any common shared values, but it can be easy to forget that. So this saying is like, no matter how much you fight over small little things within your family or within your tribe, when it comes to the bigger picture against the bigger enemy, never forget who's truly on your side. So we started off strong. That's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, if you're young, you're in school or in college, play a sport. Start a sport and stick to it. And this is something that I wish I did. It's really important to go and actually like have that one thing like that. As a guy, it's usually sport, so it's your sport, your thing that makes you feel proud, that you're good at, that you know you have your community that you go in, and that gives you some sort of continuity through life. You build sort of a brotherhood with people, with guys that you play sport with, and that kind of just becomes another community for you, like a third place. So outside of school or home, you have your third place. So that's really important, I think. Start a sport, and more importantly, stick to it. Find something you like, you enjoy, you vibe well with the people that you play with, and then just stick to that. Number 3 is kind of following on from that. You know, as I said, like it gives you continuity and stuff. Number 3 is try and make sure growing up to keep your life as stable and as consistent as possible. I don't know how many kids are watching, but this is especially important if you're a kid. And it's hard because you sometimes have very little control of your life as a child, but always try and make sure you have continuity in your friendships, your schools, your sports group, and that's the thing. Playing a sport, having a sports club gives you some continuity and gives you a community to be part of. Number 4, looks do indeed matter, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Yes, as a man too, especially as a man actually. But then number 5 is, looks do matter, but don't let it take over or ruin your life. Don't let the content consumption of looks maxing absolutely take you over and drive you absolutely fucking crazy. There's looking at like hairstyle ideas and like style ideas, looking at like what suits to wear, how to do your hair in like a good way, and that's really beneficial. There's that. And then there's looking at edits of white guys with the perfect like gonial angle and, you know, what is it called, like nasal cantal tilt or whatever, and you're just watching these edits of these white guys with like this with this eye shape or this eye structure, and you're just some like, you know, brown or black guy watching this, and you're like, yeah, looks maxing, you like beating yourself yourself up over it, trying to smash your face with rocks to get the perfect skull shape. It's like, stop. That's an exaggeration, but like, you'll be surprised how many people come close to that. Number 6, lift weights as soon as you hit your mid-teens, or if you're a mid-teen, or you're a teenager now, right now, or even if you're not a teenager, just start right now. Building a good physique will unlock your life. It will unlock a whole new reality. There's potential. Number 7, sometimes you're just gonna have to live a double life. Those who know. Number 8, go to therapy. Go to therapy, heal your traumas, get professional help. Alpha male videos aren't gonna do it. Go heal your traumas. There's so much about it that's holding your life back, that's affecting your life, and you're standing in the world and you just don't know anything about it. Number 9, yes, men and women are different. OMG, shocker, I know. As a man, as a guy, as a male, weakness is not a virtue, despite what the culture may try and sell to you. Number 10, never let feminist culture, Hollywood movies, rom-coms and that kind of stuff ever dictate how you date or how you interact with women. It will lead you to incel them, unfortunately, unless you were like born with natural good looks. The platitudes that you're told growing up aren't real and aren't real life and will never work. Just be yourself is never going to work if yourself is unique. Just be nice and be vulnerable isn't going to work if you're autistic or if you're a loser. Number 11, it might feel good now, but trust me, it's going to be one of your worst enemies in the future. Insert pleasurable dopamine increasing activity that you know you shouldn't be doing. You know yourself. Number 12, the outcome of this football match might feel like the most important thing in the world right now, but trust me, it won't even be on your mind in at least a year's time, unless it's
Aguero! Staggering! Just staggering!
Number 13, there might be a time, there might be a phase where you just have to get that, that fuckboy, party boy phase out of your system and done with, so that you can now start focusing on more important things. So you're not basically held down or bogged down by FOMO or, by things that you feel like you may have missed out on if you were like, say, a late bloomer or something. It's very easy to tell someone, oh, it's not important, focus on more important things when you've been through it and they haven't and they want to go through it. Sometimes they just have to get it out of their system. Number 14, there's precisely 0 point in feeling sorry for yourself. The cancerous mindset of excuse making. Oh, but like life's so hard, that's why I can't like improve or go to the gym and shit. Like, fuck off. Oh, you don't understand. It's like the mental health effects of this pandemic and everything going on in the world is just making me, it's so hard to do anything with my life now. And stop. No one cares. The world doesn't care. No one really cares. Because at the end of the day, it's you who's gonna have to live with the responsibility and the consequences of your failure and your inaction. So you're the only one who's gonna suffer. So nobody cares. Do what you want to do and what you need to do, what you know you want to do and what you know you need to do in life. And that's not saying you can't acknowledge things that have held you back. You can't acknowledge the outside world and you can't like explain things, and like, sure, you can, and you can take them into account, and obviously not be too harsh on yourself. If you actually gave it your best shot and gave it your all, but something held you back, then sure, you can acknowledge that. But what I mean is when that shit is used for you not even to excuse, like not even trying. Number 15, feminism and wokeism and wokeness might be absolute dog shit, but internet alpha males also aren't the answer, with very, very, very rare exceptions. Number 16, you're gonna change your values and your opinions a lot over time, and it's gonna feel really, really scary, and you might consciously notice yourself changing your opinions to somewhere that feels wrong, and you're worried that if you end up having these opinions, you're gonna be socially ostracized for it. Like, you might start questioning some things, and now you're worried, shit, am I gonna end up like an alt-righter by the end of this year? And just as long as you're aware of your opinions changing and aware of where it's coming from, so you don't end up somewhere dangerous where you don't want to be, then you can accept that changing opinions is a part of life. So just be aware of what's driving it, what internet content, what echo chambers are driving this changing opinion, and be aware of where it could possibly have you ending up, and whether that's really where you do want to end up. Or maybe you're willing to end up there and, hear it out. It's all, like, it is possible. I like to say, find your destiny. And by destiny, I mean Destiny the game. someone you can relate to regarding your changing opinions and everything. But at the same time, you know that they're morally grounded and that their position isn't somewhere that's going to lead you down a dangerous path, but it's somewhere that you can be. So that they're speaking into your changing opinions, but also keeping you grounded somewhere where it's not somewhere you don't want to be. I don't know if I explained that well, but you get me. Basically, after COVID around 2020, 2021, I started kind of questioning a lot of like politically correct or woke opinions that I had, and I just started going really anti-woke and everything like Manosphere, Andrew Tate, all that kind of stuff was kind of entertaining, and I was watching a lot of it. And but at the same time, I was worried I might end up like a far-right Nazi by the end of the year, and I didn't want to do that. But I felt like that's the more and more I was kind of getting pulled through that through just, you know, consumption. And I feel like Destiny was kind of someone that spoke to my anti-woke sentiment and agreed and kind of like related to my anti-woke sentiment and everything I hate about it a lot. But at the same time, I knew he was also fighting really hard and pushing back against far-right shit as well. And he was somewhere where I was happy to end up, in a sense, if you get me. Like, he was a very good grounding point to not ending up far off. And I feel like the last 6 months to a year, I've pulled myself back off that ledge quite a bit, so that I feel like I'm no longer in danger of going down any like alt-right or far-right pipeline. So yeah, find your destiny essentially, if you can relate to any of this. Number 17, when it comes to getting jacked, bitch, track your calories and track your protein. You're not eating as much as you think. I sound like a broken record, but this is true. Number 18, your phone might help you access and talk to your friends, but it's not your friend, and it's gonna ruin your life if you let it. Number 19, when you're lifting weights, lift until you physically can't anymore and you have to drop the weight, not until your muscles are sore. Number 20, you're a lot luckier than you think you are. Start reminding yourself of all the blessings that you have everywhere around you. Every little thing, from the pen that you used to write, to the roof you have over your head, to the flashlight you use when it's dark. Start writing things down. Start gratitude journaling. Number 21, when trying to figure out what you really want in life, turn off all distractions. Turn off your phone. Isolate yourself from everything. Just sit there and let your mind wander and discover in the elements. Let your mind be alone and discover your purpose. Psst. I still haven't done that, by the way, but I know I need to do it. Number 22, it can be really obvious sometimes when your friends don't respect you. Trust your gut feeling. Your self-esteem is paramount, and loneliness is sometimes better than being somewhere where it's constantly your self-esteem is being chipped away. Number 23, hierarchies are a fact of life. There's no such thing as true equality. There's always going to be a hierarchy. So never settle for being at the bottom of any hierarchy, including friendship groups. Get out of there while you can to save your self-esteem. Number 24, as they say, to, keep trying again and again. That is true. Keep trying, keep going, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many times you fall off the wagon. Keep getting back. Persistence is key. Find new ways you can improve things and do them better so that you can increase your chance of succeeding. And then when you fail, go back again and try again. Hence, I'm here restarting YouTube again for like the 468th fucking time. Number 25. You have to remember just how stupid the average person is. I'm not talking about like natural intelligence or IQ or anything. I'm talking about education and learnedness and like open-mindedness and that kind of thing. If you're like a relatively well-off, middle-class, educated person, take the dumbest person in your friend group, think of someone 30% dumber, and that's the average person in the world. And then remember that 50% of people in the world are dumber than that. Number 26, go out and get a tiger.
The fear no beat up keeps going on, and the melody